third world, three-dimensional world. Maybe a third world, I don't know. All I know is I'm hungry like a wolf. Let's talk to Cole Benoit. He is an electronic musician, a producer. You can see him at work at Long and McCade Music on Hastings in beautiful Vancouver. He is also online, and his website on MySpace is Flawless Imperfection Music. I like the name. Flawless Imperfection. I'm good at that. Yeah. So we're going to talk about making music. There's all kinds of different music programs. There's recording programs. There's MIDI controllers. There's looping programs. What are we going to talk about today?
We're going to talk about sequencing programs. So
sequencing.
They do looping, as some people call it, but it's where you sequence a song. So
you make a sequence of sounds to make music.
Yeah, you make your patterns, your melody lines, and then you put them all together in a song format.
I once interviewed Brian Eno, and that's the kind of software he uses. He thinks of, when he's using a sequencing program, he thinks of making music as almost like painting. He's very visual.
Yes.
And with a sequencing program, you see kind of the structure of the piece. In fact, you can see it right now. Now, there's two programs we're going to talk about, two very, very popular sequencing programs. Yeah. One is FL Studio.
That's correct.
Used to be Fruity Loops.
Yes.
But they got serious.
Yes.
And the other is Reason,
yes,
which is the one I own and spent an outrageous amount of money on.
Yes.
It's very cool looking, but I can't figure out how to use it. So maybe I spent too much. What, is this FL Studio?
This is FL Studio here. Yes, that's what we've got up.
So show us what we're seeing. How does this work?
Basically, you've got your layout window. The main works we've got up right now is the pattern window. So the patterns are like the building blocks.
That's what Eno liked to work with. So those white dots are sounds?
Yes. On your over here, we have all our different sounds. Each one of these
sounds.
This is our bass drum.
Almost, those are each almost like individual tracks almost.
Yeah. That's our snare drum there. So you basically put in your sounds, and then you compose. You click where you want it to fall on the beat.
Where we're going to hear it.
Yeah, where on the beat it's going to lie.
Got it.
These two that are colored are synthesizers. So this is our bass line. This is SimSynth. All these sounds are that come with FL Studio.
And they're kind of emulating real hardware synthesizers?
Yeah, exactly. The same way that Reason does. And then we've got a synth line, SimSynth as well, and use those to do our melodies. So basically what we've got right now is a drum beat. So
let's hear what we got.
That's one of our patterns. So it's a simple drum beat. I can go in and I can solo, just the snare, different elements.
But you put together a kit, kind of.
Yes, using the sounds that come with it, I put together a kit.
Okay.
So
you always start with the beat, don't you?
Generally, yeah. The rhythm is the foundation of it, right? So it's a lot easier to go from there once you've got the beat, got the rhythm down. From there, we went in and we did a bass line, which now you look, this is a bit different here.
Now, do you play that on the bass? How do you get the bass line in?
Well, this is with a synthesizer. You
could play it with a keyboard.
Yeah, FL Studio does recording in it. They've added it in the last 2 versions or so, and it's a great thing over Reason is that it actually does recording, and it's got a wave editor, so you can actually edit.
So if you were, for instance, an electric guitarist, you'd do everything but the electric guitar, and then you'd play your electric guitar along with
which I do as well, so it's great for that. In this case, we use a synth
and a
for the
keyboard?
bass. Yeah, you can, this is our piano roll, so this is a huge advantage over Reason right here. The editing capabilities on this are phenomenal.
Well, that's interesting.
And you can go in and you can draw them, or I can...
As you play them, it would draw them for you.
Yeah.
But then you could tidy it up also.
Yes, you can tidy it up. It's got scale modes. You can use chords. It's got chord structuring. But in this case, you can just draw it in as well if you don't have the MIDI controller.
Right.
And so then that sounds like that. Those are all the different notes there.
That's cool. That's great. I love it.
And same thing with the synth line, which I put on pattern 3. And
one of the things that's interesting about these programs is you don't need to be a super musician. You really need to have a musical ear, obviously. But even if you're not a perfect technique-wise, you can make music, good music.
Now, a lot of this is about texture and sounds, and playing with the sounds and creating something that you can't create as easily with traditional instruments.
Right.
So from here, once we've got some patterns, we go to what's called the playlist mode or the song mode. Now these are our patterns, and so we arrange them in an order that we want the song. So we can take elements out, we can put elements in.
So you're grouping the little bits into larger bits called patterns? Is that kind of what you're doing?
Each pattern is like a block, and in this window here, I've put all the blocks in. So these white ones are our drums, the orange one is the bass, the green one is the synth. So now if we hit song mode and we hit play, everything's together.
This is how this kind of trance music or electronica comes about. This is how you do it.
Yeah. And if you notice here, this white one down here is now a drum fill, so the beat will change slightly here. So that's how you get variations, is using different blocks with the pattern.
Right.
And
hey, that's pretty cool. You whipped up something cool. Is this how you make all your music?
Generally, yes.
Yeah.
Mostly in FL Studio, using field recordings and stuff as well, but mostly it's
So
all...
you'll make your own kind of loops with, you know, wild sounds that you would find out in the real world. That's kind of neat, too. That's kind of fun. I don't think we're going to have time to show Reason, but I don't think we need to. I think this is a much less expensive program,
Very less,
isn't it?
yes. And I think, in my opinion, it's more in-depth, easier to use to begin with, but you can go a lot further with it.
Starts at $99. It goes up to $361. What do you get more?
You get more synths that come with it, more effects.
Would you recommend starting with just the $100 version?
Yeah, and the demo is great too. It has all the stuff that the other ones have. You just can't save. So you can download the demo.
So you can learn how to
play
use
around it. Yeah, and you just can't save your files.
It's from ImageLine. It's called FL Studio 7. Formerly Fruity Loops, but they decided that was too silly a name. If you want to catch Flawless Imperfection, you can find it on myspace.com/flawlessimperfectionmusic, or just come to our website, labwithleo.com, and we'll show you the way to not only Cole's site, but also to Fruity Loops Studio, FL Studio, and a whole lot more. That is labwithleo.com. Cole Benoit, thank you so much for joining us. Very cool. We'll wrap this up in a minute. Stay right here. That was really neat. Our theme was created in GarageBand, but you could do so much more with this Fruity Loop stuff. I love this stuff. We're listening to another one of Benoit's compositions. This is called Deflated Lungs. Deflated Lungs. You don't even know, do you?
I can't remember.
It's on
Deflating
MySpace.
Loves Upon Something.
Kind of anything thing.
Very nice, John. We want to thank you for being here. Just ignore the man behind us, yes. And invite you to call us if you've got a question about your technology or you'd like to know more about anything we've talked about. Go to the website, labwithleo.com. You fill out that form. The lovely Kate will call you back, book you in, and we'll get you on the show. This is very cool. Now that I have Reason, now I can get to FL Studio, and then all I need to do is learn how to make music. It's easy. We'll see you next time on The Lab.